All right, everybody, welcome to NorCal Sports Network. And this is the same hat that Brock Purdy's dad wears. Chat loves it when Marty Lurie comes on.
Anytime you lose a game this time of year, when you can't go backwards, it's a problem.
All right, everybody, welcome on in. NorCal Sports Network. Giants bats don't show up tonight. I got a few people to pick on. I might pick my players of the game and my disasters of the game. I'm going to start doing that when they lose. Some of these guys are starting to really piss me off. Yeah, you heard me, initials MC, JH. Maybe another one in there too. Getting a little bit tired of it. Anyway, guys, we'll break down the game right after we thank our sponsor of the show, Chapman Law Group. Chapman Law Group, located in Marin, licensed in all of California. Chapman Law Group. Make sure you give them a call, 415-613-9483. Chapman Law Group. Hey, you've heard me say it, but you got a personal injury situation, you know, a friend or family member, make sure you give them Chapman Law Group's number. You can't remember it? Just look at one of these shows on YouTube, and right at the beginning of the show, you'll see Chapman Law Group, 415-613-9483. Don't settle with an insurance company without contacting Chapman Law Group first. They will get you the top dollar. Chapman Law Group, proud sponsors of NorCal Sports Network. All right, everybody. It was a tough one. Giants bats were nowhere to be found. Yes, Dallas, exactly. On a positive note, Casey Schmidt is back in the lineup. He hit 2 balls hard tonight. The first one was to center field for an out. He got a nice double down the left field line past the third baseman that was scorched. I don't know. They never said how hard that was hit. My guess was about 103. He hit it pretty hard. And, you know, I want to see, you know, Wade came up, pinch hit for Schmidt in the 9th, got a hit. So I guess you could say maybe Wade's starting to figure it out. He got the triple yesterday. He got a hit on Saturday. Maybe Wade, you know, it's a platoon between Wade and Schmidt. What just sucks to me, though, is you give the lesser player more playing time because of it's not a 50-50 split. It's 75-25 because 75% of pitchers are right-handed. So the left-handed batter is going to get way more at bats. That's why when you look at splits in anything, a guy's career numbers, they're always lower number of at-bats against left-handed pitching. There's just not that many of them. And, you know, look, I've always felt you play the better player. And if it's kind of equal, you just play you go with the platoon. But Casey Schmidt has never gotten a run. The Giants don't believe, period. This is one of my pet peeves with the Giants. They do not believe in giving their youngsters a shot. Look, you're going to say Elliot Ramos got a shot? Yeah, he got a shot last year because Jung-Hoo Lee got hurt, Austin Slater got hurt, and a third outfielder got hurt. And so Ramos had to play every day, and he proved them wrong, but they wouldn't even brought him up. They had no intention of even bringing him up last year. This is what I'm talking about. You don't even know what you have in players. Matos sits his butt down all the time because he's right-handed. You got to play the 34-year-old Yaz constantly. And I'm tired of it. I really am. I'm tired of what we see with Yaz. He strikes out again tonight. He struck out yesterday looking at a 3-2 pitch right down the middle. I'm tired of Chapman. What has Matt Chapman done at the plate for you? I mean, come on. The guy is just absolute. Here's what I got against Matt Chapman. You want to know what I got against Matt Chapman? Let me explain something to you. I'm in a text group with guys that are in this chat, and they're also over on Eric's show. Eric's part of the text group, a few other guys. And it got to be 2-0 on Chapman. 2-0 with two sliders that weren't even close. And my next text was, sit on the fastball. It's coming. 2-0. That's the hitter's count, man. And he lets an 89-mile-an-hour straight fastball right down the middle, and he takes it. That tells me he has no confidence because he's up there looking for a walk. That's ridiculous. You got to go up there. Hey, if it's a slider, don't bite on it. You might get fooled and foul out or, ground out weakly. Robert, I know Chapman's trying, but he's not a good hitter. You know when he comes through? When they're up 8-3 or down 8-3 is when Chapman does his big production. Oh, every once in a while, he'll come through with a big hit. But when's the last time Matt Chapman, was doing what Wilmer Flores does? Wilmer Flores, 42 RBIs. Let me check Matt Chapman. I bet you Chapman doesn't even have 25 RBIs at this point in the season. I'd be shocked if he has 20. I'm going to look him up right now. I may eat my words, but Matt Chapman he has 24 RBIs. Okay. He didn't have 25. He's got 24 RBIs. How about Jung-Hoo Lee? How many RBIs does Jung-Hoo Lee have? Jung-Hoo Lee has 29. How about Willie Adames? Let's check Willie Adames out. Willie Adames, not having a good year, has 22. Okay, so your two highest players have 46 RBIs, and Wilmer almost has as many as both those guys. All right, how about Elliot Ramos? Elliot Ramos, how many RBIs does Elliot Ramos have? Elliot Ramos has 24. I mean, how about Mike Yastrzemski? How many do you think Mike Yastrzemski has? Do you think Yaz has 20? Let's see. Mike Yastrzemski has 17. How pathetic. How pathetic is this? This is just ridiculous. Nobody drives in runs on this team. We need some run producers. Man, it's amazing to me the lack of productivity on this team. Let's see. How about, does anybody have any RBIs? Lamont Wade, does he even have 12? 14 for Wade. 14. Patrick Bailey, does he have 10? He might. He's got 13. Okay, who else is in this pathetic lineup that can't score runs on a regular basis? Give me another name. Who's else? I've gone infield. Fitzgerald's been out a while, but I bet he's got as many as some of these regulars. Fitzgerald has 7. Okay. We did Lee. We did Ramos. Yeah, we did basically everybody. Okay. So nobody's driving in runs. A couple of guys with 20 plus, and then Wilmer's got 42. It's hard. It's hard to watch 1 runs, 0 runs. I mean, tonight's run was driven in by, wasn't it driven in by Casey Schmidt? Who drove in tonight's run? Yeah, no, it was Lee. That's right. Lee got the hit down the right field line. I kind of wanted to see them send Ramos, but he probably would have been out by a mile. So I understand it. Yeah, they are who they are. Only added Adames in the offseason. Okay, so I got on Chapman. How about if I rip on Jordan Hicks? I'm tired of this. Jordan Hicks, he's throwing balls at 96 miles an hour tonight. What the heck is that? 96. Where's the 103? Why don't just, you know what Jordan Hicks needs to do? The Giants need to do with Jordan Hicks. They need to get his arm right. He pitched last Wednesday, correct? And then they had the off day Thursday, and they took him out of the rotation. And he's pitching now on Monday. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Or was it last Thursday they played? When did the Giants? Let me look at the schedule. Giants had played, last Wednesday, Hicks pitched. How about if you put Hicks on the IL? And I don't care who you bring up anybody. Bring up Sean Jelly for the bullpen. All right? Bring up Sean Jelly. Let Hicks not pick up a ball for 7 to 10 days. And let's get that arm back to where it's not tired and he can throw 103. Because that's what he was known for. That's what the Giants signed him for. He threw gas and he was hard to hit. So put him on the IL, and after 7 to 10 days, let him start throwing and put him in a AAA game and get his pitches back up to 103 and just pitch him one inning at a time. That's it. He's useless to the team last year. He throws 109 innings throws almost close to 100 as a starter. His arm's shot, and then after a little stint in the bullpen, they sit him down for the rest of the year because his shoulders, because he's not used to pitching. As a starter, he's not used to being stretched out. The most he'd ever thrown was like 68, 69, 70 innings in his career in a season. And the Giants have this magical idea to sign him as a starter. You know what? If he can't get it together in the bullpen, dump his contract like you did Anthony DeSclafani, and you got Robbie Ray back. You got rid of DeSclafani and Haniger. Go find somebody that'll take Hicks and take another bad contract back that's actually a player that's productive. There's got to be some teams out there that's got a player that's got 2 or 3 years left and they're paying money they don't want to pay and they want to get rid of him, but maybe he can be more productive for the Giants. I don't know who it is. Aaron Law says, how about Bo Mel putting Hicks in a high leverage 1-run game just after they scored the previous inning? Talk about killing momentum. Isn't this why he got demoted? Yeah. How dumb is that? They get 2-1. They have the go-ahead run, tying run on third and the go-ahead run on second base, and they don't get him in, and you go to the top of the ninth, and he brings in Hicks. And then Hicks just promptly starts getting drilled. Every ball was hit like rockets, even the outs. I am just so fed up with the stinking Jordan Hicks experiment. He belongs in the he belongs on the IL right now, in my opinion. Very easily. Just say, he's got a little bit of a tired arm. He's not throwing the velocity he's capable of, and we're going to shut him down for 2 weeks. I mean, that happens all the time. Guys get tired arms. Just shut him down. You don't have to have a particular injury to put him in. He's just got a dead arm. And, that has to go. Hicks has to go on the IL. If you're listening, Giants, don't put Hicks out there in a key situation right now. He is talented. He can throw 103, but he's obviously, he threw 50 plus innings as a starter, and he got hit around, and he gave up a lot of runs. He had an ERA of over 6.5. Now his ERA, what's his ERA now? He gave up an earned run today in 1 inning. I bet it's closer to 7. Let's see. Jordan Hicks, 6.6. Okay. I'm surprised Hicks's ERA isn't 6.66. Maybe it'll get there. Yeah, the whole thing with Wade, you'd have to do an injury thing as well, because I think he might be out of options, but you could do it with some type of an injury. Yeah. Yeah, that might be true, Matthew. Hicks has been more of a thrower, not a pitcher. What, Robert? Come on. Hard to judge Hicks on 1 inning of relief. I said I had 50 innings of him this year. I can judge him on 50. Hard to judge him on 1 inning. Come on, Robert. The guy's he's got an ERA, and he's given up a ton of runs. He's thrown 45 innings this year, and he's had terrible first innings in many of his starts. So he's got to learn to get back into the reliever role. And the reliever role is generally high leverage situations for a guy of his caliber. Send him down, put him on the IL, get Sean Jelly up here. Well, his speed, what was the fastest pitch you guys saw tonight? I wasn't paying as close of attention to the radar each pitch, but I remember seeing a couple at 96. Did he hit 100 tonight? Because you're saying the problem was not speed, location. Did he hit 100? Yeah, I wanted him to the bullpen. Robert, I wanted him to the bullpen. But after tonight, he's not even ready for the bullpen. He threw a pitch at 101. Robbie Ray may be in it for Cy Young. Yeah, I think Robbie Ray's pitching great. I had him beginning of the year, top 10 was my prediction. I think Logan Webb is, if he Logan Webb may win it this year, but Logan Webb should finish top 3 if, he stays consistent as he's been. Yeah, that double play was a killer. That was a dumb play by Adames for a veteran. That's one of the dumbest plays. It's a reaction play, but it's a dumb play. And let me tell you why. He's not on second base having to get a jump to come home. He's on third base. You don't jump off the bag toward home plate on a hard hit from third base. He's probably thinking, well, if it's on the ground. But you got to, when a ball's hit hard, you got to know, you got all the time in the world if that ball gets through the infield. You can literally do tumbles. You can do rolls down the third baseline to home plate. You could skip, you could hop, you could whatever you want to do. If the ball goes to the outfield, you got plenty of time. You should not be in a hurry on a line drive to be racing toward home. So, not a smart play. I understand it. It's a reaction. It's instinct. You see the ball, you hear the crack of the bat, and your first instinct is forward, but you got to be talking to yourself every time. Okay, if the ball's hit hard, in the air on this next pitch in the infield, if there is a line drive, I'm freezing and going back to the bag. You literally have to talk to yourself every pitch what you're going to do, or at least know at the beginning of the at bat, okay, and you just got that in your head. I'm going to freeze if the ball, because I'm on third. I'm on, when you're in the field, you're thinking, if the ball comes to me, what am I going to do? Okay, it's all situation. Every play, every pitch, you should be talking to yourself as a baseball player, so you know what you're going to do. That was just crazy to get doubled off like that. Yeah. Let's see what's happening down in Chavez Ravine. 9-3 Diamondbacks. So the Giants won't lose any ground to the Doyers. Brandon Pfaadt, 6 innings, 3 hits. Wow. Gave up 3 home runs. Dude. All 3 Dodger runs were home runs. Who hit them? Home run, Ohtani, and Betts has 2. Okay. Interesting. Padres are off, so the Giants will fall a half game behind the Padres into third, 1.5 behind the Dodgers. Or 1 behind the Dodgers, a half game behind San Diego. Yeah. Ellis, Adames, and Chapman were to be the leaders of this team, both hitting 220-ish. Yeah. It's pathetic. And between the two, they've got like 46 RBIs. Wow. Yeah. Hey guys, a lot of people in the room tonight. Make sure you do hit that like and subscribe button as you're watching. Let me see how many we got in here. 1 second here. Let me take a quick peek here. I always forget to do it myself. So, all right. Looks like we've got 79 watching on YouTube and another 80 or so watching on Twitter. We've got 25 likes. I just hit it, 26. Let's see if we can get those likes up to 75 real quick, everybody. Just X out, hit the like button. It helps the show grow, really does. We really appreciate it. Thanks. Means a lot. I really do. Thank you for that. What else we got here in the chat? Lou was at the ball game tonight. I don't know if he'll make it back to his his place before we get, we finish. I have no idea how long it takes him. I don't know if he waited till the end of the game. He might have waited till the end of the game, since it was game was in doubt all the way till the end. I did not take the over tonight in sack. What's happening over in sack? Let me take a look. Over in sack, the A's and the Angels 4-3 at the end of 8. Angels lead the A's. Boy, the A's are right now in a funk. And the Angels have won. Well, they swept the Dodgers. Are they going to? Man, the A's have been lost something like 8 of 10 or something like that. I mean, they lost, 2 or 3 to the Yankees, 2 or 3 to the Dodgers, and then got swept by the Giants. So what is that? They won 2 games in their last 9 or so, something like that. Nick Chaplin says Adames was a big miss by Buster. Well, I told you guys in the beginning of the offseason, or during the offseason, that Adames is not going to have the year he had last year. All the metrics said he was going to have a much less of a year. I wouldn't have called it this bad, where he's very little production. I knew the numbers would come down based on the type of year he had last year, and then the fact that he's playing here at Oracle. But these numbers got to pick up. I mean, I mean, he's been playing a good shortstop. He's a good leader. Seems to keep the team loose. All that's good. Public service announcement. There we go. NorCal Sports Talk Live. Public service announcement. No big deals happen in May unless you want to get fleeced. Yeah, that's probably true. Lou did catch a foul ball tonight early in the game. He showed me a foul ball. Let's see. Where's Lou's text? Yeah, look at that. Yeah, that looks like Lou's hand right there, huh? Look at that. Foul ball early on in the game. I wonder if that's his first. I think Willie Adames had one other year, Matthew, with, I don't know if it was 30 plus or maybe it was 29. I could tell you right now, Willie and the poor boys, down on the corner, howdy in the street, Willie and the poor boys. Boom, boom. Willie had 31 in 22, and then he had 32 last year. I thought he had one where he had another 30. Yeah, 31 last 3 years, 31, 24, and 32. So, and then he had 25 and 21, 20 and 19. But Willie Adames. Yeah, much better lineup, Milwaukee. Yeah, everything, better park, all those conditions. Absolutely. Yeah, it was easy to say he wasn't going to have anywhere near 112 RBIs. I don't know if the guy's going to get 75 the way he's going. A's are 2-8 in their last 10. After they were doing pretty good until the Seattle series. They should have probably swept Seattle at home, and then they ended up losing 2 of 3. Dallas says Chapman 240, Adames 247. They'll do better, but not much. Yeah. Problem with Chapman is he's also got a 202 thrown in there. Yeah, Matt Chapman had 1 year. I want to say it was 202. It was either 210 or 202. Let me look it up. Matt Chapman in the year 25. Matt Chapman hit 210 in 2021. The year the Giants were winning 107 games, Matt Chapman was hitting 210 with 202 strikeouts. Oh, my goodness. And he hit 27 home runs. And he drove in 72. That's your Matt Chapman that I said, I don't want him signed here. You know what? I don't mind that he's here. He's a good player, okay? He's a good leader. But I didn't like the 6-year deal for sure. I was kind of ticked because I wanted to see the Giants go with Casey Schmidt. But you know what? I'm okay with Chapman. He does help the team. He's a great defensive player. He's a good leader. He's a sound baseball player. He's fundamentally sound. He just doesn't hit in the clutch. He doesn't hit well for average. He strikes out too much. All that said, he's still a valuable player. Okay? I was against it at the time because I thought, hey, the Giants are got to see what they got in the youngsters. I really wanted to see Schmidt play at third base, but I'm okay with Schmidt playing first base. I think Casey, despite the dropped pop-up tonight, I got to tell you, if I don't have this for a fact, but I bet if I asked Casey, would you have caught that ball if you had your third baseman's glove on? And he would have said, yeah. I think he'd say, yeah. I think he's learning that glove. That first baseman's glove is just different. It folds. It's long and it folds differently in the pocket. I've used one before, and it's skinnier. It's really hard to, they design them for scoops in the dirt. I don't like a first baseman's glove personally. So the wind, maybe. I really think it was the glove. If you look at the replay, that ball hit him right here and just popped out. First baseman's glove's kind of, I see this glove. It's kind of wide, but a first baseman's glove, it's kind of skinny and it opens up. It doesn't open up it's kind of like that versus like, it's kind of like that. Okay. Versus like that. I don't know. I may be just making excuses, but I've used a first baseman's glove, and it's harder for me to catch. When I played, it was harder for me to catch a ball with a first baseman's glove than a regular glove. I could even catch a ball better with a catcher's mitt. I had a catcher's mitt, I had a first baseman's glove, and I had a glove, and always every day was throwing pop-ups as high as I could throw them, and they were up there pretty good, and I'd get under it and catch it. And with a catcher's glove, it's one thing about a catcher's glove, you don't even feel it when you catch it, man. There's so much padding. Yeah, I don't think Schmidt's going to be dropping that many pop-ups. That's just happened. Hey, here's something for you guys. I brought this up to a couple of buddies of mine after this happened. They gave Schmidt an error, which it was. It's an error. But let me ask you this. Let's say that happened in a game where a pitcher was throwing a perfect game. He's got 20. He's through 7. It's the 8th inning. He's got 21 up, 21 down. Perfect game. Nobody's reached base. No walks. No hits. No errors. Nobody's got on base. 8th inning. Pop fly. Foul territory, just like tonight. Casey Schmidt, he drops the ball. Routine pop up. Right in the glove, boom, pops out, falls out, error. Now, that was Salvador Perez that was at the plate tonight. Robbie Ray goes on to strike him out. Okay, situation, 21 up, 21 down. The guy's 22nd batter, pops out, foul ball. It's just a strike, okay? But it would have been an out, but there was one strike. It's strike 2 now because it's foul ball. Dropped it. Error. Next pitch. Strike 3. He's out. 22 up, 22 down. He goes on to retire 23 and 24. He's through 8. Goes through the 9th. 3 up, 3 down. 27 up, 27 down. Is that a perfect game? Is that a perfect game? The rule book says no, it's not. There was an error in the top of the 8th because he dropped the ball. But is it a perfect game for the pitcher? Brian Trujillo says no because there's an error. George Curry says yes. Mark Graves says doesn't affect the perfect game. Eddie Case, that's a perfect game in my world. Johnny says nope because the error occurred no matter what. Dallas, perfect game has to be everybody playing perfectly. Everybody has to play perfectly, not just the pitcher. Bill M says it is. Let's Google this. Let's see what AI has to say here real quick. Hey, Siri. If a pitcher faces 27 hitters and 27 batters do not reach base, but during the game, a player drops the ball in foul territory for an error, is that a perfect game? Not, can't think. Hey, Siri, you woke. Come on. Wake up, you woke. All right. Maybe somebody can chat GPT that thing. I'm curious. I don't think it's a perfect game because there's an error in the books. I don't think it is a perfect game. But I think, don't you think it should be for the pitcher? Yeah, I get it. I'm agreeing with the rule book. I mean, that I know what the rule book says. It's an error, but sure seems like if the error is erased. Yeah, I know. I got Siri all messed up. Couldn't figure it out. I guess what I'm saying is I get it. Like an infield error and the next guy gets doubled up, still 27 up, 27 down. I get it. But somebody reached base because of the error. If they didn't reach base of the error, cannot the error be nullified? That would suck. How would you like to be the guy that dropped a foul pop-up in a perfect game and you spoiled a perfect game because you dropped a pop-up that was foul? It didn't even affect the game. Oh, man. Anyway, we could debate it, but Dan, I understand the circumstance, but Sanchez, no, Uribe made an error. But that was an error in the field of play, and the runner got on base. In this situation, I'm detailing kind of because of the Casey Schmidt brought it up. It brought it up to me, the idea, if it's pop-up and it's foul and nobody reached base, Google says it's a perfect game. Dallas, there we go. A fielding error that does not allow a batter to reach base, such as a misplayed foul ball, does not spoil. Good. I feel better now. I feel better because I would, it just occurred to me that, I honestly don't think plays should be counted as errors. It doesn't count as a hit for the hitter if it drops. Why should it count as an error for a fielder if it drops? I think it should be an error that is on a moving scale, that if the batter ends up getting a hit after that, it's an error. But if he doesn't reach base, I think the error should be wiped out because it didn't affect it didn't have any change. It should be, if the guy doesn't reach base and it's foul, I think the error should be removed. Yeah, there you go. Definition of perfect game. 27 up, 27 down with no one reaching base. Google agrees with me. Good. Because it just made me think, I mean, that could happen. That could happen in a game. What do you guys think of the old the play where I'm forgetting the guy's name. He pitched for the Tigers. He threw a perfect game, and the umpire missed the call at first base. It was egregious. It wasn't even close. Replay. It wasn't even bang, bang. It was Jim Joyce was the umpire. Yeah, Philip. Galarraga. Galarraga was the pitcher for the Tigers. Jim Joyce, I don't know if is Jim Joyce still alive? I think he is. And he's lived with the that, I mean, there's only been like 23 pitchers in the history of baseball that have thrown a perfect game. Armando Galarraga. And Jim Joyce is 69 years old. Okay. Now, here's my take. Maybe I'm a little too sentimental, a little too I like good feelings. I like seeing people who made mistakes, who regret it. I don't like to see if it's correctable that they have to live with it the rest of their lives. I think it's kind of cruel. They didn't have instant replay back then. If they did, it would have been overruled in like 2 seconds. They would have looked at it and said, he's out, right? Even if they were out of challenges, after the 8th inning, you can ask for a challenge, and they would have done that. Now that you have replay and you've done some things to go back and change history. Look, you have, with baseball, you've changed rules. You went to a DH. You've gone to a man on second base. You have allowed all the Negro League statistics to be entered into Major League Baseball. You've changed things. Why can't you go back and change that? Because the next batter was out. He actually faced 28 guys and would have had them all out. Okay? I'm not saying that you go back and change everything, because what happens if the next guy got a hit? You can't go back and change it because that's part of the game. But the next guy, he got out too. Okay? So what do you guys think? Am I being... Don't you think it would be good for baseball to say, recognize Armando Galarraga and Jim Joyce and say, we are reinstating by the commissioner, and make a big deal of it and publicize that thing? Doesn't baseball need some more things that promote the game? And you got the NBA, which is, a bunch of clowns running that show. I mean, there's just constant controversy there. NFL surrounded by constant mess ups with officiating. I hear you, George. I hear you. It's part of baseball history. Umpires are part. But this was a once in a perfect game. We're not talking like it was the 5th inning. We're not talking like this was the 27th out. This was the 27th out, and video clearly shows he was out, and it wasn't close. I don't know. I just think it would be cool for both Galarraga and Jim Joyce. Jim Joyce could actually, not have to live with that, that he messed up a kid being in the record book for history. I know that, maybe there should be an asterisk or something by it that says this was a perfect game, but umpire admittedly made a wrong call. I know they didn't have the technology back then to change it, but we can see it now. I'm just talking about baseball has done things that are already against the rules as far as I'm concerned. Look, the Negro League had great players, right? Awesome players. Josh Gibson, Satchel Paige, but they're all part of Major League, but they didn't play Major League Baseball. So why are they part of the rules? Yeah, I know Joyce cried after that. He knew it was really hard on him. Really hard. But do you guys hear what I'm saying? You put the Negro League statistics. Why not put the Pioneer League or I get what baseball is trying to do. They're trying to correct their ways of racism and keeping the Negroes out of baseball. I get that, and that was wrong. But they didn't play in the league. Why not include the Japanese record book then in Major League Baseball? Why don't you make Sadahara the home run king of all time? You guys understand where I'm coming from? I'm saying you change rules for some things. You're recreating history based on trying to make somebody feel good, and you're trying to make yourself feel good because you're saying, okay, we're going to allow the Negro League statistics as part of Major League Baseball because they were excluded, but they didn't play. They didn't play. So I don't know. And I understand you do it for one thing. Now you're opening up Pandora's box and everything. You're going to say, okay, we're going to change this rule. We're going to change this rule. But it just kind of sucks to me that, you can, it's just, yeah. And I hear the other side. Umpires are part of the game and they make mistakes. I get it. Where do you draw the line? Do you go back and do you take the game that Eric Gray called when Levon Hernandez was pitching and he was throwing balls 2 feet off the plate and he was calling them strikes against the Braves in the National League Championship Series, and the Braves were just, they couldn't hit the ball with a telephone pole because Greg was, I get it. So Johnny says he needs 65 games now, not 50. Okay. Arizona won 9-5, but their bullpen sucks and almost gave it up in the ninth. Yeah, their bullpen sucks big time. Their closer, guy's name is Martinez, I think. I think his name is Martinez. Let me look. I remember his name. I should know. I have him on my fantasy team. I just can't. Yeah, Justin Martinez. He's out, but he's coming back in a few days, I think. Maybe by Friday, the end of the week, Martinez is expected back. So he'll probably go back into that closer role for Arizona. Yeah, exactly. St. Louis, because Dinkinger's safe call at first. That was a World Series too. Probably even a bigger call than, exactly. There's a lot of blown calls. I guess you just have to go with, that's the way it is. Human error, right? Dodgers were 8-0 since they're 21-19. I'd be angry if Giants spent that much money and looked like that. Well, you guys remember this with the Dodgers. They weren't that great for a while in the first half last year, and then they just took off right after the All-Star break. Or right before the All-Star break, they won a few games, and then they just took off. They didn't have a big lead at all, and then boom. So they have the capability. But I don't like the Dodgers pitching. I don't really care for their outfield. They're loaded on the infield. Really, the Dodgers, if you think about it, they're made up of Ohtani, Betts, Freeman, and Will Smith, and Teoscar Hernandez, 5 players. Muncy's fading. Conforto's been terrible. Paja's okay. Their outfield's not that great. They got basically Hernandez. Edmonds saving him at second base. But their bullpen's not that great. Their ERA's only the 5th worst in baseball, 4th or 5th worst in baseball. All their pitchers get hurt. I've said that I don't think Betts will play shortstop in the playoffs. If Betts, Freeman, or Tani go, they'll be in trouble. Yeah, they're gettable. They're not invincible, guys. They're really not, even though they do sleepwalk through the regular season. Yeah, I mean, they haven't even played well, and they're in first place. They haven't even played well. Yeah, they did get Lou Trevino, so look out. They could be lights out now. Lou Trevino. Jeez. I don't know, guys. I just let's get back to this Giants team. I want to talk about this Giants team. What do they need? We all know they need some hitting. They need a couple of bats, right? They need a couple of live bats that can really hit the ball. I mean, their best player, in my opinion, is Elliot Ramos. Number one. Number two, their next best player, I think, is Jung-Hoo Lee. And then after that, and I'm talking position players, I'm leaving out pitchers. Their third best player after Ramos and Lee, where do you go? I mean, think about this. Where's their third best player? Who is it? Is it Adames? Is it Chapman? It's one of those two guys. Maybe it's Flores. Yeah, it's Flores. That's what it is. It's Wilmer Flores. And he might be their second best player. He's probably their most productive player hitting-wise, but I'm just talking around all-around player now too. Not just hitting, but defense. That's why I got, Wilmer doesn't really play much defense. Lee is definitely plays better defense than Ramos. I don't know. The way they win games and stay in games. Hold on just a second. I need some water. I got to yell to my wife real quick. Hold on. All right. Speaking of Ramos, I got to go get me some water, guys. My throat's getting dry here. She didn't hear me. She's back in our bedroom, which is around the corner a ways from the studio here. So just watch this. You guys, let's see. This will only take me a minute. I can do this in a minute. Let me find the Ramos deal. And where'd it go? Where do these things go? Sorry, guys. They're queued up in here, and then they move on. There it is. Here we go. I'll be back in 1 minute. All right, guys. Well, that was a great video, by the way. Eric put that together last year when he was here, part of NorCal. Yeah, imagine their record if they just scored 4 runs a game. I don't know. What is their – let me see. They probably are averaging 4 runs a game, don't you think, Mark? But in many games they're not. But let's take a look at their runs scored. They played a total of, they're 28-20. They played 48 games, and they've scored 223. So 223 divided by 48, they're averaging 4.64 runs a game. 4.64, 4.65 if you round up. So, I mean, but a lot of those games, 7, 8, 10, 12, they've had a few of those. But, hey, speaking of runs, the Giants have a run differential right now of plus 45. The Dodgers are plus 59. The Padres are plus 38. Cubs are plus 69. I think they lead all of baseball if I'm not. No, the Tigers are plus 80. Yankees plus 90. Mariners lead their division plus 27. Phillies lead their division tied with the Mets, or a half a game ahead of the Mets. They're at plus 30. Mets are plus 54. So the Giants plus 45. They're actually not too bad. The Giants have scored 223, and they've given up 178. 178 divided by 48, 3.7. And they're almost 1 run above. Well, they played 48 games and they're plus 45. So you could figure it out there. They're almost a run a game better. But they play awful lot of close, low-scoring games. They've got to do some more damage there. What do we got? The draft coming up? The NHL draft? Ned Colletti's there? Is that what we're talking about? I didn't read the above comment. Is he there for the draft? Sharks will win the cup in the next 5 years. Oh, that's what we're talking about. Yeah, I think the Sharks are definitely the best team that has a chance to win a title before anybody else in the Bay Area, unless somehow the Warriors pull the magical off and the unthinkable and get Giannis here next year. If Giannis lands with the Warriors, that will be really pretty exciting around San Francisco. Giannis and Steph Curry together? You kidding? Now, I don't know if it happens. I'll just say this. If Giannis wants to come to play with Steph Curry and says, I'm not going anywhere else, kind of like Anthony Davis worked his way with his agent to L.A., if Giannis says, I want to go to San Francisco and nowhere else, then he'll be a Warrior. But if he says, I'm open to whatever deal you can work out, then he's probably not going to be a Warrior because other teams have a better package. Yeah, that's a great question, Robert. See, this is what I wanted the role of Fitzgerald. Look, Casey Schmidt should give Chapman a day off at third base. In fact, if it were me, I'd give him the day off either tomorrow or Wednesday and say, Casey, you're going to play some third. Adames needs a day off where Koss can play short. Look, you know what the Arizona Diamondbacks are doing? They brought up Jordan Lawler, who was a top 10 prospect in baseball. Jordan Lawler was tearing up AAA. You know what the Diamondbacks did? Because I listened to their broadcast when they played the Giants. They brought up Jordan Lawler and said, and the plan is, they got Gerald Perdomo playing a great shortstop this year. They got Eugenio Suarez at third, and they got Ketel Marte at second base. They told Lawler he's going to play all 3 of those positions and give the veterans a day off at least once a week. So those guys are going to stay fresh. Lawler's going to get playing time. Lawler's probably going to play 4 days a week. And the other guys are all going to play at least 5 or 6 days a week. They can rotate that. You could do the same thing, but you only have to do it with Adames and Chapman. So they only have to take off 1 day a week. That's just makes so much sense, especially when they're playing as crappy as they are. You know, it's kind of like, hey, this guy, well, you really suck, but we're just going to keep putting you out there. Which player would I prefer batting cleanup? If you ask me, I'd put Wilmer as the cleanup guy. I mean, they called it cleanup because the definition of cleanup was he would clean up the bases. He would clean up what's on in front of him. Problem is, Giants don't have anybody else that gets on base. So what good is a cleanup hitter if nobody's getting on? Who is cleanup tonight? Let me look at the order tonight. Let's take a look at the batting order tonight. I don't remember it. Sorry, guys. I got to go to another screen, so I'm not looking at the chat right now. But the cleanup hitter tonight was none other than Matt Chapman. And yeah, I'm going back to Chapman until he starts playing. Cleanup. What a joke. I'd go Flores or Ramos. That's it. Nobody else. Nobody else cleaning up. Or Adames. Adames was cleanup with Milwaukee. You know what? But I'd be looking, I'd be scouring, looking at teams like Baltimore. I'd be looking at teams like Colorado, maybe a Ryan McMahon. Milwaukee, I'd be going after a Reese Hoskins to play first base. That's what I'd do. I would probably, if I was doing something, running the team, I'd probably go Reese Hoskins at first base, my everyday first baseman. I'd make Casey Schmidt my second baseman. Let him play. I'd let Fitzgerald be my super utility guy. One day, Fitzgerald's at second base. Next day, he might be at shortstop for a game. He might be back at second base, and I give Chapman a day off, and I move Schmidt over to third. Then I got giving Ramos a day off and putting him at the DH, and I'm putting Fitzgerald in left field. I might put Fitzgerald in center if they're facing a lefty and give Lee a day off. Might put him in right field if I want to give Yaz a day off. You know, Matos DH, whatever. I would just let Tyler Fitzgerald be what he is, a freak athlete that can play all over the position field with speed. And I'd get me, let Casey play second. He's great fielding, and if you're not going to, and before I go out and get Reese Hoskins, you know what I would do right now? It's May 19th. Trade deadline is when? July 31st. You know what I do? It's May 19th. I would say, Lamont, you're going to be our late inning pinch hitter against right-handed pitching. You're going to be late night Lamont again. You'll play occasionally in some games. But I would give Casey Schmidt about 40 games. How many games do we got before the All-Star game? I'll count them right now. All right. We're May 19th. We got 2, 5, 8, 11, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 37 games till the end of June. And then you got 40, 43, 46, 49 games before the All-Star break. Trade deadline's July 31. 49 games. I'm playing Casey Schmitt at first base for like 45 of those games. Can he be any worse than Lamont Wade at one? What is Wade hitting again? Seriously, guys. All right, I got it right here. Lamont Wade, even after tonight's hit, is now hitting 172. Can Casey do any worse than that? Seriously. Give him 45 games at first base. You got 49 till the All-Star break. Maybe Casey really finds a groove because he's playing every day like he did at AAA, and he hit, 275 with, some power. Play Casey Schmitt every day at first base. And if he doesn't cut it, then you go out and get a Rhys Hoskins. George, who are you going to play at first base? You're playing Lamont Wade the majority of the time because you're facing right-handed pitching 75% of the time, and you're playing a hitter that is hitting 172 right now. How do you know if Casey can play or not if you just play him every fifth, sixth day because you don't face lefties? You got to see if Schmitt is part of your future or not. You got to see if you need to go out and get a first. What happens if Schmitt is capable of doing what Elliot Ramos did last year because he got playing time? Look, when I played, I rarely saw lefties. I'm a right-handed hitter. I hit over 300 all the time. I face righties. I don't know what, occasionally I get a lefty and it's like, oh, wow, this ball's bigger because I can see it for longer. It's coming in at a different arm slot. But these guys all hit right-handed pitching growing up, and they did it through the minor leagues. This bullcrap that you got to platoon guys once they reach the majors, just let them hit. What I'm saying is give him a fair shot. He's not going to do worse than Wade. And he might just figure it out. And then you got your first baseman. But if he doesn't hit, then you go, okay, he's not the guy. We need to go out and get a legitimate first baseman who can hit 250 plus. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You got to give these guys a chance because you don't know, it's not like Casey didn't perform in the minor leagues. I mean, it's pretty crazy when you look at a guy's numbers. If I showed you Matt Chapman's minor league numbers, you know what he hit in his career in like 4 or 5 years in the minors? 241. What's he hit in the majors? 240. It's pretty remarkable that how close Matt Chapman is to his minor league career numbers. Yeah. So my take is, why not give Casey a shot and see if he can duplicate what he did in the minors? And this is what he did in the minors. You guys see that in the yellow? Look at those numbers. 5 seasons. That's Casey Schmidt in the minors, guys. It's not highlighted in yellow for you guys. Why not? I just look. Hold on here. Let me go back. It's not highlighted in yellow because, wait, stay. Oh, I see. When I move it off, it does. All right, there it is. Minors, 1,219 at bats, 340 hits, 68 doubles, 5 triples, 46 homers, 198 RBIs, a 279 batting average, an OPS of 802. Okay? I bet I can find, I don't know if they'll give me his minor league stats against splits. Yeah, there's his. I mean, that's pretty solid. The guy hit 279 in the minor leagues against a ton of right-handed pitching. Matt Chapman hit 241 in the minor leagues, and he's hitting 240 in the majors. So Matt Chapman is a 240 hitter. Look, there's Matt Chapman right here. Are you guys looking at this? This is Matt Chapman right here. He's hitting 222, but he's underneath there, 240. You can see it right there. That's Matt Chapman. Okay? Don't believe me? Matt Chapman right there. 240 hitter career. I just showed you Casey's 279. Now watch this. Matt Chapman, minor league. Let me show you his minor league numbers. Career. This is his minor leagues right here. Oh, I lied. I said 244. 241, I said. 244. 244 batting average in 1,211 at-bats. About the same number of at-bats that Casey had. And Casey hit 279, 35 points higher. So I think what I'm trying to say is the Giants are notorious for not giving their players a legitimate shot. George says Casey had shots and hit poorly. I think he meant to say hit. He went 9-21 last year to move his average to 251. He was terrible last year before his last 12 games. He needs to be consistent, make contact. Yeah, he needs to get a chance of consistency is what I'm trying to say, George. I don't know if George, I'm sure you played ball. You can't hit well when you aren't playing consistently. It's just really hard. Unless you've been in baseball a long time, a guy like Wilmer Flores who can come off the bench 4 or 5 times a week and hit. But it's not easy for most players. Dallas says, Wade, has he turned the corner? Maybe. I've said it on this show. I do think Wade is going to turn it around. You know, I like Wade kind of in different circumstances, though. So we'll see where it goes. You know, I just think the Giants need to learn. Oh, no. A's got to move down 2 spots. So they're in 4th place. I'm going to have to fix that one. Dang. Yeah, they've been cold. So we'll see where they go. But, you know, the Giants are notorious for not giving guys. I don't understand it. They bring up guys. I can count you Giants top picks over the last several years. Joey Bart, 1st round pick in Was it the 17 or 18 draft? 18, I think. Never got a real shot. Never, he got the 2020 season because Buster opted out. And he got the 22 season because Buster retired. He wasn't ready. And then they get rid of him at the beginning of the 24 season after, not playing a ton in 23. Now Bart's doing better. Ramos, never got a shot until injuries. They weren't even considering him. And then Matos now, another high pick from the international signings. And now you've got Casey Schmidt, a second-round pick, not playing him. Bailey, first-round pick. He's playing because he's a catcher. If he played any other position, he would be out of baseball. I don't know what they're doing. Bichette would be good. Put Fitz at super utility. I like that, George. I like that. Yeah, I know. I got to calm down. I'm losing my voice. Chapman and Hicks. Guys tick me off. Dan, you think they're going to do that with Eldridge? No, I don't think they will. I think Eldridge will be the one guy that they try to build around. I don't see them jacking Eldridge around. But it's kind of funny. I was thinking about this tonight. The Giants, the Giants have 3 number 1 draft picks that are all just been injured their entire career. Started with Hunter Bishop. He's healthy now, but he's down in AAA. Hunter Bishop, the first pick of the Farhan era. And then they go for Will Bednar. Guy's been hurt ever since they signed him. Reggie Crawford, another guy, constantly hurt. 3 top number 1 picks that likely never to make it into the big leagues in a Giants uniform. Right? And, baseball is probably one of the tougher sports. I mean, that'd be a good show sometime. All the number 1 draft picks that were bust in sports. The majority of number 1 draft picks in baseball don't make it. They might make it to the major leagues, but they're never anything meaningful. Bunch of NBA players bust. Bunch of NFL players bust. No, Bishop's still play. He's not hurt anymore, Eddie. He's playing. He's playing with Sacramento. Hasn't done much. So, organization has got to start. Eldridge may be the guy but you know what? I'll tell you, I have my concerns with Bryce Eldridge. You want to know what my concerns are? A lot of swing and miss. A lot of swing and miss. And when he gets up to this level, it's probably going to increase. Massive power, but too much swing and miss. And I don't know if the Giants actually bring him up until he really learns to cut that down, because it's not going to get solved here. The swing and miss. He's got to be around 25%. You could live with 28 if he's, hitting 40 bombs, 35, 40 bombs, you could live with it, but you're not going to be able to live with 30 plus strike ace, 31%. You're not going to be able to live with that. You can't live with that in the big leagues, because it's going to get bigger unless you got to be able to cut that down in the minors. So we'll see what happens with Eldridge. If somebody offered me, like if the Pirates said, "Hey, we want Eldridge," and you said, "Hey, we really want Eldridge," and the Giants said, "Well, we really want Skeens." You can't have Skeens for Eldridge. But we might consider giving you Skeens if you throw in, either pick your one of Birdsong, Roop, or Harrison. We'll take one of those guys plus Matos, and you can have Paul Skeens 3 for 1, maybe even a 4 for 1. Maybe you throw in a Mason Black type pitcher or something. Pittsburgh says, yeah, we'll take young pitching that's I would be like, I can have Paul Skeens right now. I would be seriously tempted to do that, pull that trigger. Because I don't know what I've got in Eldridge. I think I've got a really good player, possible future perennial all-star. But I know what I got in Paul Skeens. But we'll see. I'm hoping Eldridge is the guy that actually breaks this drought of 30 home runs. I think he's going to be the next guy that hits 30 homers for the Giants if they keep him. So, yeah, most depressing to me, the shift was bad. We never got to see Belt hit. Yeah, he hit a lot of balls over the second baseman's head into right field. He sure did. I also hit a lot of balls to 421 at the time that died for an out. Guys who's hitting? You want to know who guy that's really hitting in the minors for the Giants? It's Walker Martin down in San Jose. He was their second round pick after Eldridge. This kid's hit 6 home runs in 6 games last week or something like that. Walker Martin. He led the nation in home runs as a high schooler a couple years ago. He was drafted right behind Eldridge. He's a left-handed hitting shortstop. He's got pop. And he's at San Jose, hitting great. He might get moved up to Eugene later. If he hits well there and does good, he's on to Richmond. And then, Walker Martin probably could be here in 27, 28. If everything goes well. Now, he's a guy that strikes out a lot too. So, but hey, guys, we've been going an hour and 23 minutes, so I'm going to end it here. I love a Walker Martin. He's going to be up to the show soon. Yeah, a couple years, Walker Martin. Look for that guy. He might be the steal of that draft for the Giants. So tomorrow night, it's City Clown Connects jerseys tomorrow, City Clown Night. And let's see if the Giants can get their second win on City Clown Night. And we'll see how it goes. We'll be here tomorrow night about 9:15-ish, probably right around 9:15-ish, 9:30, depending on whenever the game ends. And then Wednesday, won't have a show Wednesday because I'm let's say I wake up out of anesthesia and I'm I could do it from my phone from the recovery room. I'm going to have some surgery on Wednesday, gotten a hip replacement. So won't be doing a show Wednesday unless we get somebody else to do it. So we'll see how that goes. But tomorrow night we'll be back. Mitchell and Ness says, I like these City jerseys more than the old ones. Yeah, they're better than the old ones, even though they are a little clowny. To me, the purple with the font, it's, I can handle the black. I like the black. I can handle some of this other stuff. I'm just not crazy about the font. 3 weeks out. Okay, how's she doing, Kyle? Hopefully well. 3 weeks out on her second. I got my first Wednesday, then my second's going to be in July, so going to get them both done. So, all All right. 2 parents, 4 hips. I'm screwed. You are, Kyle. It's hereditary. You're screwed. Yeah, that's exactly right, Mark. The font looks like a comic book. She's good. All right. Very good. All right. Well, guys, great having you part of NorCal. Make sure if you haven't done so already, hit the like button on the way out. It means a lot to our channel as we are fast approaching 5,000. When we do, we'll have some fun giveaways. I wish they would have made it different. I like some of those other designs I saw on Twitter that people made for the City Connects. Things like, I like the one that said the city with, some skyline pictures and stuff like that. Oh, that's right. Hayden Birdsong tomorrow night, guys. Brian says, how do I think Birdsong does tomorrow? I think Birdie does well. I think Birdie goes 6 innings tomorrow night and gives up 1 run. Yeah. I'm expecting a Giants win with Birdsong on the mound tomorrow night. 6 innings, 1 run, 4 hits. So that's my line for Birdsong tomorrow night. And he's going to get 7 or 8 Ks. Yeah, 7 or 8 Ks, Birdsong tomorrow in 6 innings. All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great one.